Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today from Fitch-Rona EMS, your Deputy Chief, Jeff Doslick. Jeff, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Thank you.
You know, your name is the only name that I can do that. Like, your Deputy Chief, Jeff Doslick. It just works.
Good. I like it.
I do too.
Should have been a baseball player.
You should have been a baseball player. What would be your walk-up music, do you think?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. Something by Eminem, probably.
I was going to pick Staying Alive, but okay.
Well, that's everyday music for me.
All right. We're here to talk about summer emergencies. It is summertime, hot out there. And we've just had a couple of heat waves in Wisconsin already this year. So it's a good time to talk about all of these things. Yeah. But since the heat has fried our brains already, let's talk a little bit about heat emergencies. And it doesn't matter if you're young or old. It affects people differently, but it is preventable. But some groups are more susceptible to it, some aren't. So tell us some ways to beat the heat, if you will.
Beat the heat. Well, I think one of the best things is just to be aware of, what the day's going to hold for you. So, there's different kinds of heat-related illnesses, heat stroke, heat exhaustion, heat cramps, with heat stroke being the worst. So I really highly caution those with, the younger children that are outside all day playing on, at the water park or whatever. And then the older adults that are out there that have a hard time regulating their temperature, excuse me, is just to be aware of what's happening, to spend a little time in the sun and get into the shade. The biggest thing with summer emergencies is dehydration. So we know how much water we need to drink every day, but we need to, increase that when we have days that are like today, where it's going to be 98 degrees outside. So making sure that that you stay hydrated, and that's not alcohol, that's water. Your favorite drinks are fine to kind of supplement, but you really need to replenish the water that you're losing as far as the heat is concerned. So just be aware, watch for others that are out there. So, if you're outside and you're working outside, watch for those that you work with, keep track of your neighbors. If the air conditioning is not working at your neighbor's house, make sure you're checking on them, and getting them into an area where they can cool off.
Jeff, what I think we spend a lot of time talking about, the preventative measures, but what happens if when Fitch-Rona shows up on site for a heat emergency? What are the things that you folks are going to do as you prepare for transport or whatever is the outcome there? But what's that other side look like, so people kind of maybe get a better understanding of the emergency that's occurring?
Sure. From our end, we're going to want to get a really good history on what happened, how long you've been outside, what have you been doing. If you're able to tell us that, if it's a heat stroke and you might have an altered state, you might not be able to share that information. We're obviously going to want to try and get a temperature, get you into a cool ambulance and have the air conditioning on and so forth. Start an IV, so to make sure we can get you hydrated as quickly as we can. Making sure that if we need to put ice packs or cold packs, we might do that. So the places that we'll put them are going to be in your neck or your groin or your armpits, and those areas can cool you off. The biggest thing is to try and get you cooled down as quickly as possible. We don't see it too often, but for those people that are, have body temperatures that are really high, if we have to get you into a cool bath with ice water, we'll try to do that as well. But we're able to most of the time get you cooled down with ice packs, and if towels that are soaked in cold water, maybe wrapped in ice, can go around the neck and the groins and the armpits, and transport too.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and not that every call is the same. So certainly, don't if you're taking notes, don't worry. It could change
Right.
depending on your situation, but I think that's good for people to know.
Right. Yeah, just be aware of those. If you're outside and there's a progression of, you're sweating and you've done some exercise, now you start to have some muscle pain and some spasms. Start to think, well, that could be heat cramps. And as you move into heat exhaustion, you might have some nausea and vomiting. You might be more tired than normal. Start to get a headache, dizziness. Again, move into a cool place, loosen your clothes, maybe put cool, wet clothes on your body to help you cool down. So, if you have to soak your shirt or whatever, and then take some water. And then as you move into the heat stroke area, now you have body temperatures that are in excess of 102, 103 degrees. People that are with heat stroke, they stop sweating. They don't have the ability to do that anymore. They're confused, they're nauseated, they're dizzy. They'll have hot, red, dry skin, and those are definitely 911 type of emergencies. You want to get the person into a cooler place, try to lower their temperature, and if you can get them into a cool bath, that's a good start.
All right, Jeff, great information. I appreciate it. We're going to do another segment with you on bike safety and other scratching ouchies. We'll call it
Skin injuries, burns, and cuts.
yeah, ouchies for sure. But Jeff, if people want to learn more about Fitch-Rona EMS and stay up to date on what's going on, how can they do so?
Yep. So visit us on our Facebook page. Fitch-Rona EMS has a Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. You can call me, you can email me, you can send pigeons with your messages. We're certainly here to get as much information out as we can and try to be timely in a season like today, where it's going to be nice and warm. And I'll dread talking to you when you say, hey, we need to talk about cold emergencies and it's going to be 40 below zero. So I'll take this over any of that anytime.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep, you bet.
Jeff Dostlik, Fitch-Rona EMS, your deputy chief, and so much more. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.